The Eternals are set to make their Marvel Cinematic Universe debut this coming November, and while their solo project likely hasn't garnered the same level of recognition or anticipation as Spider-Man No Way Home, or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is it possible that the role that they're set to play in the multiversal arc is just as important, if not more so, than the Sorcerer Supreme or our favorite web-slinger? Stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we explore the possibility that the Eternals are not only set to be at the forefront of the next multiversal war, but may in fact have been on the front lines of the first one. The Eternals famously are eons old, rising to prominence near the dawn of humanity, and in many respects serve as the ancestors to the modern superhero. In the comics, it was their genetics that were responsible for humanity's uncanny ability to manifest superpowers. They serve as the ancestors of the human race in a way, and as a result of the experimentation done to them by the Celestials, they passed on the ability to gain powers to the future generations of humans. Throughout the course of the MCU, and upon their reveal, their absence has been widely regarded as one of the most confusing plot holes in the Marvel Universe to date. They seemingly sat and watched by as Thanos, a well-known deviant-born Eternal and member of their own species, set out to cull half of all life in the universe. They watched the humans that they helped to guide and protect as they waged war after war, fought off an alien invasion, Ultron's incursion, and eventual near destruction at the hands of one of their own. In the trailer for the Eternals, the most prominent line in the narration is as follows: "Throughout the years, we have never interfered. Until now." This line was widely criticized upon the initial release, seeing as the Infinity Saga had just come to a close, and there seemed to be no overarching threat on the horizon that could do more damage than that of the Mad Titan. If the Eternals were going to interfere, they should have done so long ago, as was the general thought. It was only after the reveal of He Who Remains at the end of time, and the breaking of the multiverse, that we finally received the necessary context to fully understand this statement. The Eternals were not choosing to finally interfere based on their own will, but are likely only now interfering due to the expansion of the multiverse. So if the Eternals hailed from the same planet and species as the Mad Titan Thanos, then why would they elect to interfere in the coming multiversal war, and not interfere with Thanos' quest to assemble the Infinity Stones? Could it be that they have seen, and possibly even experienced, the fallout from a multiversal war before? Is it possible that the Eternals fought in the first multiversal war when He Who Remains reigned victorious, and were refugees that escaped to the sacred timeline once the time stream was reorganized? As an avid master of sorcery, Cersei in particular has an extensive history of traversing different realities and different timelines. It was her who discovered the location of the Ego Gem, the fabled 7th Infinity Gem hidden away in the Ultraverse in the comics lore. If she has the same history with multiversal navigation, then it stands to reason that she would be in a particular place of interest to help out Doctor Strange. It is possible, however, for her to have this experience traversing the multiverse unless she somehow was able to navigate it before it was closed off by He Who Remains. The Eternals are the primary driving force behind the trajectory of humanity. Without them, humanity would have taken a far different path. They have guided human actions since the beginning, giving direction and guidance while simultaneously being responsible for human beings' latent ability to manifest superpowers. What if the Eternals were deliberately helping to set that of humanity on the course of the sacred timeline, at the behest of He Who Remains, acting as a jumping off point to kickstart this new sacred timeline? This could, in theory, be because they were refugees of the multiversal war, who somehow managed to secure salvation on the sacred timeline in exchange for ensuring the birth of some of the most prominent individuals in history. How else would they come to know about the rebirth of the multiverse unless they had seen it before? And why would they only now wish to interfere unless they knew exactly how much destruction it could cause? It is even possible that when they decided not to interfere any longer, they elected to do so knowing that their interference could hinder the sacred timeline and cause various Nexus events throughout history. If the Eternals were aware of the prospect of Nexus events and the damage it could cause to the multiverse, it could explain why they've remained hidden after all this time, only coming back into the limelight once again upon realizing that the multiverse has been reopened, and only choosing to resurface because they know how dangerous the multiversal war amongst the Kangs truly is. It is likely that upon seeing that the multiverse has been reborn, they remember the calamity it caused the first time, and feel that they have no choice but to interfere once again, in order to help guide our heroes through a coming conflict that they know all too well. If this theory holds weight and turns out to be true, it could explain a lot of missing pieces from throughout the history of the MCU. It explains why they have never interfered, how they know about the existence of the multiverse, how they know that the multiverse is being reborn, and why they are just now choosing to interfere in human events. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this idea and theory? The idea that the Eternals are refugees from the first multiversal war. I'll admit this is one of the more outlandish theories that we've crafted on the channel, but it would go a long way to explain why the Eternals haven't actually meddled in any human events until now, and only upon realizing that the multiverse has branched did they act. Do you think that the Eternals have come into contact with Kang or any of his other variants? And if so, do you think they were in hiding in order to prevent Nexus events from occurring and creating another multiverse? I would love to hear your thoughts on this theory and others in the comments down below. And are you excited for Eternals this November? As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.